blessed by this conference, if this conference has change one or two things, in your life, in the way you parent your children and all of that. If you have learned anything, if you've gotten any form of value, please don't keep it to yourself. Just send it in so that we can also use it to encourage other parents to join. Thank you so much. So I'm just going to go right in. Our coach is here already. I'm going to read his profile so we can begin. Okay. So this session is, sorry, I need to adjust my lights. Okay. Yeah, I think it's better now. Thank you so much. So we have Coach Abibo here. He is a certified parent, teen and youth coach and counselor. He's the founder of Parenting Generations and Teens Mentoring Academy. He hosts a weekly and monthly online and offline training for parents and teens with a mission to build godly and love driven families. Awesome. He's passionate and committed to helping families bond and training parents on how to connect with their children and raise purposeful, responsible, godly, successful, and happy children. He is the author of many books, including Parenting with a Difference, The Porn Protection Guide, The Unique Teenager, and his bestseller book, I Wish I Was a Virgin. Abibo Berepele works with schools, churches, families, and organizations to equip young adults with the wisdom to become responsible, purposeful, and maintain their virginity and purity. Wow, wow, wow. It's such a privilege and an honor to have Coach Abibu here with us this night. So many things are happening, especially in these times. The latest one that I've not been able to make a post about because of this conference is Spider-Man, the Spider-Man saga. That our favorite Spider-Man is now portraying himself, as something else, which is not really a good sight for children, to relieve. It's not something you want children to see and relieve. So we see that these are the things that we are faced up with on a daily basis. So if you know any other person that is supposed to be on this live session, please go and call them. You cannot be with your children 24/7. Even if you put CCTV in the house, you need to have the strategies at the tips of your fingers, because the children of this generation, they are all these Gen Z, we are calling them, they are even smarter. They have it all. The things that we are still struggling with as parents, they are far ahead. And this is why I'm so glad that we have the opportunity to learn from Coach Abibu tonight, on how we can improve our home. So without taking much of our time, I'm just going to bring him in. He's here already. Coach Abibu is here already. Okay. I'm so excited about this session. I know I am going to learn a lot. Okay. Um, where is he? Coach, I'm sending you a request again. Oh, sorry. Sorry, just a moment, please. Just a moment. Coach, are you there? I've sent you a request. Sorry, please. He's trying to join. He's trying to join us. Just hold on. He's trying to join us. Network, please be good. Be good. Um, Sorry. Okay. Sorry, he's having a hard time. Sorry, he's having a hard time. Thank you so much for coming again and again and again. Thank you for your support. I salute. Sorry, our guest is trying to connect. Please just give us some minutes. Our guest is trying to connect. Just give us a few minutes. Our guest is trying to connect. Spirit of the Holy Ghost, I am favor. Walking in abundance, moving through the speed of the Holy Ghost. I am favor. Walking in abundance, moving through the speed of the Holy Ghost. I am favor. Walking in abundance, doing the speed of the Holy Ghost. Sorry, our guest is trying to connect. Just stay with me, please. Okay, okay, let's try again. Let's try again. It's a new level. It's a new level. Hey, sis. I'm taking over. I'm taking over. Taking over. Coach, I've sent you a request again. Taking over. Taking. Sorry, please just be patient. Our guest is trying to join me. Just be patient. If you've missed any of the past sessions, please, you need to go back to watch the replays. Uh, you need to go watch the replays. They're on Facebook, YouTube, and on my IGTV. It's been a time of great learning. Please just stay with God. Finally. Thank you. Don't let the network take away your smile. Please smile for us. Because this network can be very annoying. Thank you so much. Glory to God, that we have you here. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for coming. Okay, so I'm going to time is fast spent, but let me just quickly go over his profile again. So our coach here is a certified parenting and youth coach and counselor, and the founder of Parenting Generations and Teens Mentoring Academy. So I'll just skip to the last part. He is the author of many books, including Parenting with a Difference, The Porn Protection Guide, The Unique Teenager, and his bestseller book, I Wish I Was a Virgin. Abibo works with schools, churches, families, and organizations to equip young adults with wisdom to become responsible, purposeful, and to maintain their virginity and purity. It's such a great delight to have you here to share with us this evening. I was saying earlier in the first video that pornography is something that has eaten deep into society today. I mean, the fear, that thing that people were scared of out there is now coming into homes. We see what is trending today about Spider-Man, it's a menace that is eating deep into society. So you're going to be talking to us about the strategies, what we need to have at our fingertips as parents to protect our homes against pornography, because this is not the era of God forbid. Okay, yes, we know God forbid, but what are you doing intentionally, to stay abreast of what is going on? And that's why I'm glad he is also an addiction therapist. So he's the best person we should be having this conversation with right now. Thank you so much for being here, Coach. Thank you. So the floor is yours. Over to you.
Good to be here. I want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with us. Our time is fast spent, so I may not want to go a lot into some things, but I believe even if we spend 15 to 30 minutes, we'll be able to achieve some result. Let me start by saying that what we ignore had actually eaten up our society. Pornography, as I say, is the current pandemic. It's an ignored pandemic because a lot of people are involved and don't talk about it. Leaders, fathers, mothers, youths, so many of our society had gotten involved in it, and it had destroyed a lot of lives. I can tell you in a couple of years that I've had a lot of friends who had lost their job because they were
Mm.
caught watching pornography. I can tell you marriages that husband caught wife watching pornography or wives watching caught husband watching pornography, and it's been a challenge. When we talk about protecting your home, your best place in your home is your heart and your knowledge. So when I talk about the home, I'm not just talking about an environment. I'm talking about an environment. You know,
Mm.
my job is to help you know you and to help you guide against the fight of pornography or the things that fight against your family. And pornography is one of those things. Let me say this quickly. Pornography is not new. Pornography is old as it is. It's masturbation, I started clubbing and doing a lot of mess. It got to a point I went to porn school. Then I wanted to get married to a porn stress because I felt like no other person could give me the kind of sex I may want except porn stress until I encountered God again and went through several times of therapy and all of that. That's why I'm bold to say I was that mess that became a message. The
Wow.
first thing you need to realize is porn is a secret.
Mm.
And let me say this to you, everything you keep secret is destroying your life. Secrets
Mm.
grow in secret and become destructive to you. The second thing I want to say is your secret can never be less secret. It can be secret to others, but it's destructive to you.
Mm.
Pornography grows, forms a habit that destroys our life. So I would say when we talk about porn protecting your home, it's first of all about knowing the truth, living in the truth, and teaching the truth. Now, I've got a lot of people who come in and attack me from several countries and say pornography is not wrong. Pornography is a way of expressing your emotions. Pornography is a way of knowing yourself. There are lies about pornography. So let me talk about for those of us who are Christians. The truth is this. Many parents say denial. Oh, my child cannot be watching pornography. Oh, my child is too godly. I can say this to you. All the while I watch pornography as a teenager, my parents never knew.
Wow.
They
Wow.
never knew. Never knew. I looked like a saint, but then I was sick. I was struggling with a mess. I was looking for you to help. The very,
Mm.
very worst part was when I seek for help, I was afraid that if I tell somebody I'm watching pornography, they're going to expose me. And that
Mm.
exposure will to shame, that shame is going to lead to beating or whatever because they won't know how to correct. Rather, they would look at way to beat me and shame me. Shame does
Mm.
not transform a child. Shame increases a child's secrecy. So when you shame a child, the
Mm.
child will become more secretive and then continues in the negative habit. So please stop using shame to train the child. Shame is not a tool for transformation. It is empathy, connection, and quality conversation. Please let me say that again. Shame is not a tool for transformation. It is empathy,
Mm.
connection, and quality communication. So this is it. Let me start with the lies we are told about pornography. Number one lie is that everybody is doing it. Everybody is watching it. Can't you see that
Mm.
everybody is watching pornography? So when everybody is watching pornography, you look like the odd person. So practically, I have about three clients right now. Their children are out of the country. In a new country where they went into, the children are watching pornography. From the age of 5, they can start watching pornography. And it's awkward and odd for the children. So they came back home, told the parents that other persons are watching pornography in school. And their parents went to tell the school owners, and the school owners said, why are they doing it? Why are they doing it? Some of the parents came and said, why are you disturbing my children? They are trying to find out realities about work, about sex, about relationships. Now, the first thing you need to know is this: your child is influenced. Your child is listening to somebody. There are many influencers competing with you. Basically, today
Mm,
you're not the only educator of your child. And if you
mm,
not intentionally connect to educate your child, this media is going to educate your child. I remember when I talked about lies that the media is teaching your child about pornography. I had over 3,000 people from outside the country reach out to me, attacking me, saying, "Oh, why would you say the media is teaching them about lies?" I said, "Look, I explained what it meant. Now, let me give, for instance, how I got involved. So, after watching pornography for the very first time, look at what we started telling those who were lured into pornography. Because in 6 months, I lured over 32 young people into pornography as a fun addict. So we tell them, look, yeah, yes, you don't want to commit fornication. You don't want to commit fornication, yes. Since you don't want to commit fornication and you have emotions, yes. You really don't want to mess up, right? Yes. All right, so let's get it. What you do is you watch pornography so that you will not have fornication. So you satisfy your sexual urge by watching pornography. So who is going to, are you going to impregnate anybody? No. Is anybody going to impregnate you? No. So
mm,
is it not a safe way of enjoying yourself? And that's how many of them came into it.
mm.
So old days, we have Alex. Oh, can I have a dance? Music, baby, can we dance? Music, It talks about respect for a woman. You understand? Songs like Your Land is Green. Songs like Ìyàwó Mi, Olórúfẹ́ Mi. It talks about a woman's pride and marriage. Songs like If You Try, You Know Succeed. Try to do your best. Now, most of those songs that were secular music, they are actually gone away because today we are singing that are not secular. Rather, they are inhuman. They are the point image that we have of women. You understand what I'm saying? You know, our national anthem is secular music. Let's talk about secular music. When you're singing a song, ask what kind of song am I playing? What kind of song do I play out? So practically I get cassava. Baby, give it to me some more. I'm going on in the national television. They want to touch it. They want to experience it. They want to feel it. So if you can't give it to them by plea, they want to get it by force. So you see, from protecting your home, you have to censor what kind of music are played in my home, what kind of music are played in my children. Now you have to re-educate yourself. Tell yourself the truth. Any child can be exposed to pornography. Stop saying my child is too godly. He cannot be exposed to pornography. I have worked with pastors children in conferences. And when I talk about sex and masturbation, many of them send me private messages and say, sir, my parents are not aware. They are going to kill me. This is how long I've been into this thing. I am dying in silence. You know, a lot of these things coming. You get what I'm saying? And some of them are addicted. And because they are trying to become good in the front of their parents, you know, they actually, you know, try to hide it. And whatever you hide grows. I used to say this. You things and they grow. I was addicted to pornography. I was hiding it and it almost destroyed me. When I talk about my story, I understand what I'm saying. You know, so we're talking about protecting your home. We talked about, you know, your home, the environment, what your family is watching. What kind of movies do we watch? You know, those days you say just close your eyes. Today, you're telling your child to close eyes because you're with them. What about the one in school? You know, that's why you need to build quality relationship with your children so that you can ask them questions. You know, sometimes I ask my teenagers or my preteens within the age of 7, 8, 9. I say, have you seen an image before of a naked person? They say, yes, 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 yes. I say, where? They say, in a picture, in a movie. Did you tell your parents? No. Why? I don't like it. You know, are they aware of it? Have your parents told you about it before? No. I used to say this. Yes, it's cool. Sometimes you might not want to tell them the name, you know, but you're saying it's a bad image, it's a good image. When we don't talk about the name, especially when they begin to grow up to the 7, 8, 9, people are telling them the name and they'll tell them there's nothing wrong. All right? As they're telling them there's nothing wrong, they are believing. And let me say this to you. If you do not build quality relationship with your children, if your children are afraid of you, they'll believe the enemy more than they believe you. And their enemy will become their friend. And guess what? Their enemy will teach them the lies about pornography. You know, so pornography, it does not just happen. It's a planned product. In fact, let me say it's an intentional product. It is promoted by the world. Poor people don't promote pornography. That's why almost every link. In fact, I can say this to you that in research currently, young people watch pornography more than adults. And the truth is, one of the days that pornography is watched more is on Sunday. Sometimes you ask why. Why is it on Sunday? When they come back, they have more ample time to get relaxed. And then because the parents are very busy, you just want to rest, the children are far away, the parents are far away. The truth is this, in from protecting your home, you cannot totally monitor your children, but you have to guide them with knowledge, guide them with truth, guide them with connection. Like I often tell my children, don't run away from me when you make mistakes. Run to me. Don't run away from me when you mess up. Whatever you hear that you don't understand me, whatever you think somebody else is showing you that is not part of our value, come to me. And then when the child comes to you, are you attacking the child or you're protecting the child? because your heart matters and your response matters. Many children don't come to their parents. I couldn't go to my parents because let me tell you the truth. When Auntie K exposed me to pornography at the age of 7, I told my friends. My friends said nobody is going to believe me because Auntie K was a very nice woman. I went to my mom to tell my mom. My mom did not believe me. She only said, "Oh, because you don't want to join Auntie K's class." Because Auntie K is a very brilliant lady, and then she likes teaching. She gathers every class. So because my mother did not believe me, I just felt bad. So my mother believed me. So when you do not believe your children or children, you actually expose them to the negatives they are running away from. You know what? They are looking for someone to hold and accept them. The greatest need of everything is love, acceptance, and significance. Sometimes children try to use uh, pornography to cure loneliness because they are told, "Oh, alone." They start watching things, and then because they saw it somewhere, "Oh, let me just tap on this button," and they begin to watch. Sometimes it's parents that expose their children to pornography. But let me say this: the boy was caught in my school recently trying to have sex with the floor, and then they saw him. How? Where did he learn it from? He said, "My mom." That one day he woke up very mid morning that he saw his mom doing it on the bed without her father, without his father, and then he has seen this boy is 6 years old, and then he started doing it. Sometimes he will go to the room and then the toilet and use his hand in his penis. And then they asked him, caught him. He said it's his mom. And when we tried to talk with the mother, we realized that she was not a responsible mother. I want to use that word because she does not listen. She was like, and all of those things. And she got home, beat the boy, and said, "Oh, you went to expose me." Now, do you know what that is? It means that children are seeing what you're doing and following. So your neighbors are doing it. Watch who is around your child. Watch who your child is and say, "Please take care of my child for me." What are the things? What are the environment? So if your child goes into that kind of place and it comes back, and then you do not connect with the child may not be able to tell you things that happen there. And then when you say, "Shut up," sometimes in parents, today's children are expressive. Stop shutting them up. Try to listen. Listen because they're expressive. All you need to do is help them know how to talk better. Help them know how to communicate better than shutting them up. All right. I don't know if it's making sense.
Super sense.
On protecting your home, it also involves what you teach. What you teach. Like we often tell parents, you have to start the sex conversation early. You have to start with the pant rules, body parts, and then tell them about their parts, how they should be able to, guide themselves. My body, my bed is for, all of those things. I may not want to go into the details right now. The book on the Pump Protection Guide, it's a book that's going to help you. But I did a lot of things in that book because classes like this might not be enough for us to share a lot of things. So I have to put a lot in that book. I talked about 7 lies that your children are told about pornography. I talked about 7 destructive things that pornography does to your children. I also talked about how to help your child come out of pornography, including adults, because we talk about children. No, adults are so addicted to pornography. All right, they are so addicted. So let me give you a little statistics, not to make you afraid. But the thing is, in fact, you don't need the statistics right now because it will not help you protect your own boy. It's just to create your awareness. So I don't think you need statistics. I guess you're really saying you need the statistics. So this is one of the things. Tell your children the truth about pornography. Make them know that, when you go out, you meet your children, you're going to meet people, young people who are doing this, who are doing that. You are different. You are unique. You are a king. Kings don't get involved in these things. All right? Make them understand that, as you begin to grow up, you're going to have feelings, crush. Sometimes parents attack their children when the children have crush. That's why many children do not tell their parents about crush. So let me give you a practical illustration. When we meet as teenagers or preteens, we talk about, my mother beat me up because I told her I was crushing on my friend. The next thing that gets to the next child's mind, me, I will not tell, before my parents will also beat me. So they now have that conversation, and the conclusion is I would not tell. Why? Because parents do not take crush as normal. Crush is normal. Let me say this to you. Everybody married who they are crushing on, except you literally become married. You married your friend, you had value. So uncontrolled crush is what leads to infatuation, that leads to lust. Controlled crush is what the quality friendship that may lead to marriage. But crush is normal. It is also a way that the child begins to realize that he has emotions, all right? He
Yeah.
has sexual. There is nothing wrong with crushing. Let me say that to you quickly. There is nothing wrong with crushing. Stop beating your child for crushing. Your child is normal. Crushing is normal. It's a part of the emotions that grow. Some people will say, oh, why didn't God leave emotions till we are ready for marriage? Even adults were struggling with emotions, we're struggling with crushes. That's why some people jump. Make them understand that
Yeah.
pornography is fake. Pornography does not tell the truth about sex. The truth is this: the media tells us pornography is the reality of sex. And this is a dysfunctional system for our generation. Tell them the truth that pornography can never teach you about the truth about sex. Pornography cannot teach you the truth about love. Pornography cannot teach you the truth about friendship. Pornography cannot teach you the truth about relationship. It distorts your image about women and men. In fact, the truth is this: it will make you not to understand real friendship with the opposite sex. And many times, parents don't understand how to communicate with their children about friendship with the opposite sex. They need to learn that. Part of the trainings we do, what you need to teach your child about the opposite sex, how to help your child effectively communicate with the opposite sex without sexual involvement, how to deal with their emotions. Because the truth is this: as these images begin to pop in their head, they are having mixed feelings. Should I? Should I not? Should I pursue? Should I overtake? Can I recover? Or there is a fight. So you need to know this. You also need to protect your home from pornography by deciding the kind of people that come to your home. What kind of people? What kind of conversation do they have? You understand what I'm saying? You can't force it. And let me say this to you quickly. One of the ways you can protect your children and home from pornography is to begin to build association with your child's friends. So the truth is, many of the parents, in trying to select good friends for their children, they abuse and they harass their children's close friends. They take it to try to create positive results. It does not work that way. This is what I say. Build friendship with your children's friends so that you will know who they are. Then begin to softly discuss with your children, basically based on their values, based on their futures, so that they can now begin to learn how to, walk away from those friends that are negative. You can't force your child to be a friend. The child will leave the friend in your presence, but secretly follow that same friend. Parenting is not fault. You need to connect with the heart of your child. You need to make him understand why that person is not a bad person, but is not needed for the friendship. Because friends influence friends, and the influence of friends gets children into pornography. Another thing that gets them into pornography is peer pressure or association blackmail. So many of the children, I used association blackmail when I was trying to lead to, look, you want me to teach you mathematics. Then you see those friends that teach mathematics because they watch pornography with me. So if you want me to teach you mathematics, then you're going to watch with me. There's nothing wrong. After all, you're not is touching you. You're just feeling yourself and having fun. So it's association blackmail is current in this. So you have to guide it, help them understand that, friendship is not by force. All right, make them know that friendship is not by force. And then you, as a parent, you also have to protect yourself from pornography. Some parents are going to say, "Oh, I'm of age." They call it adult movie. What is adult about the movie? That's the question I used to ask. What is adult about watching pornography? What is adult about watching pornography? One can't teach you the realities of sex. I often say this. They can't teach you. They can't help you have good sex. Yes, because porn is fake. It degrades women. So it can't teach you the truth about this adult movie. I smile. I say, look, you have given it a name that is destructive and you have made it look like it's normal. It's not normal. Because porn distorts your view about sex. Distorts your view about sex. and tell them the consequences of pornography. Tell them the consequences of pornography. Help them see the demerits of pornography.
Mm.
You know, tell them to say, oh, this is what it is. Porn leads to shame. Porn leads to this. Why are you doing it if you're doing it in secret? Can you openly want to do such thing as sane as you are? Do you feel happy when somebody, so just share with them. Like I say, this class is not enough to share all of the things, but the truth is, number one, the greatest way to do it is to become a pal parent. The next thing is that you have to accept that any child can be involved in pornography. The third thing is you don't have to work on the denial clothes. Remove the denial clothes. Rather, bring the education clothes. Oh, I'm not suspecting my child to be exposed to pornography, but I have to communicate it. So you can get the ebook, the Porn Protection Guide. Somebody say, when should I start sex educating my child? From when the child is zero. As you carry the child, as the child begins to walk, creep, begin to sex educate the child. There are conversations, there are songs that can help this conversation. My body is for me and for God, and all of this. There are songs like that, It's called the pant songs. You begin to tell the child the pant rules. One other thing you need to be careful with is the internet. Now you have to tell them, measure what the internet is saying and what is real. So your child will go to the internet for information. And when the child goes to the internet is telling your child there's nothing with pornography, there's nothing wrong with pornography, as long as it's not addictive. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what the internet is telling our teenagers. So you have to go to them and say, okay, this is what the internet is saying, but let's come to the conversation. Is there anything you just started that became addictive immediately? So start the conversation. Make them understand that it's a struggle, it's a fight. You understand what I'm saying? And then when they begin to see it like that, they know that, oh, the internet can lie. The internet wants to sell to you whatever he wants to sell to you.
Yeah.
Tell them, okay, so the internet said it's not wrong. Let me ask you, how would you feel if you are watched like this on the television doing this? Would you like it? Do you get what I'm saying? Make them, oh, no. Would you like to be here naked? No. And tell them, look, this is good picture, bad picture. Good picture does, bad picture does this to you. Good picture makes you, So by the time you begin to say it to them, talk it with them, they will come to you, Dad, I saw a bad picture today. What did you do? I left the place. Mom, because you're an accessible parent, you understand? The child saw it, but you finish teaching the child. Now, the feedback section had come in, and you are available for the feedback section. So what happens is you're seeing that this child is under pressure on this area. You begin to identify this area. This is a connection to go through, how to communicate on this. And before you know it, you're helping your child come out of the mess if the child is in the mess. Now, if your child tells you he's already exposed to pornography, please don't be surprised. Don't go, That's how I told you, or you stop the child. Don't react. You respond. You respond with empathy. So practically, a lot of parents uh, who told me they taught their children, they beat them up, start to shout, hey, and then expose them. By the time you expose the child feels ashamed, the child feels rejected, and then shame increases the addiction. And that's why when the woman that was caught in adultery, Jesus said, neither have I condemned you. Go and sin no more. Because shame increases addiction. All right? So you don't expose the child. Rather, you look for a way to communicate with the child. So you first of all accept the child. Accept the child first. Because if you can't accept the child, you cannot attack the habits or the behavior or the addiction. So accept the child. Oh, I know you're struggling with something. I know this is a challenge for you. So let's talk about how did you start? Tell me about it. You understand? You are calm, you are empathetic, then you are communicating. And the person is going to say, oh, Dad, Mom, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I did not pay attention to you about this. I'm so sorry too. I know you're struggling. Just tell me. And the child like, Dad, promise you're not going to expose me. These are the things. And then the child begins to talk. Empathize with the child. Give him a hug. Give her a hug. Tell her, I love you no matter what. And as I
Yes.
often say, to people, please know this. Your greatest responsibility as a parent is to love your child unconditionally, no matter
Thank
what.
you.
And your greatest responsibility as a parent is to love your child unconditionally, no matter what and even if. No matter what your child has done, even if your child is messed up, love your child. Children change where there is love. Have you not noticed? A child who is so stubborn at home, but when he gets outside and he feels love in a neighbor's house, he's so calm. Watch it.
Mm,
The neighbor is speaking his love language. So when you understand the child's love language, it helps the child come to the sense of, oh, I am wrong, and begins to help the child heal. Because the child have to heal before he changes.
mm,
It takes healing for a change to happen. But when you attack the child becomes defensive. And guess what?
mm,
The child begins to defend his reputation and loses his integrity.
mm.
You understand what I'm saying? He brings reputation before you, and then integrity is dying. So
Yeah.
things I want to say. So I don't know if I've made sense in this class. I know
Hmm.
it's going to prove that I'm not even where I'm supposed to be right now. I was on the road. I just have to go somewhere to ensure that this is working. You know,
Wow. Wow.
very much. If you have questions I
Thank
can
you
answer.
so much. Thank you so much. You have made super sense, like loads of sense, truckloads of sense. Thank you so much. And I can feel the fire in the comments as well. Dear parents, do you have questions for Coach Abibo? Do you have questions? Please rush in your questions. It has been so insightful. I mean, one of the things that really um, the starting point where things begin to go wrong from is that part of living in denial. When parents begin to live in denial, you think that, God forbid, God forbid. Yes, God forbid, but what structures, what strategies have you put in place? Like he said, you can't keep saying your child is too young. If you don't educate them, society will educate them. Like one of the speakers said, I think on Tuesday, there are people out there waiting to give your child attention. If you are
Yeah.
too busy to give your child attention, he will go and get it out there. And let it not be so unfortunate that it is the wrong kind of attention he gets outside. So please, no more living in denial. We need to wake up to the fact that children are learning so fast. I mean, I was shocked when my son came to me one day. He was still very young and he was asking me for the password. I'm like, which day did you hear password? They know everything. They are very techy. So we can't be sleeping. Let's educate them before other people educate them out there. You as a parent are supposed to be the greatest influencer of your child. So I'm so glad we are having this very insightful session. I think somebody asked the question, my son is having a crush on a girl, but he keeps hiding the truth from me. What can I do?
Said, what's the question again? He's telling the person
Yes.
who would not judge him, who would
Mm-hmm.
not criticize him. And possibly the person is telling him his spares, and his spares can give a negative this thing, advice. So the truth is, you're saying, come and tell me whatever. Look, it is not what you say that makes them come to tell you, it's who you
Yeah.
are. It
Mm-hmm.
is how you respond. They've told you something before, how did you handle it? Be
Mm-hmm.
sincere. How are you handling other people's matter? What do you say
Mm-hmm.
about other people? You just come, talk, talk,
Mm-hmm.
talk, 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 and before you know it, the child is saying, hey, it's me.
Is
Ah,
this
that
what my
one.
mother would do
Oh, you
to?
understand? They are afraid you're going to expose them. So the child is not telling you. And now you
Yeah.
know how to win it. Did you react? Oh, I know you're doing this. I know you're doing that. No, sit down, ask yourself. All right, fine. Stand. No, see, since you know and the child does not know you know. Now create the conversation. Oh, look. You know, within your age right now, you might start liking somebody. Are you liking anybody? Hey, come on. You know, guys, so start talking. You know, don't tell him I know
Yeah.
you like. Have the fun. Hey, come on, guys. Look, are you seeing a change in you? How old is the child? I don't know how old he is. While we're growing up, there was this guy that liked me. We're teenagers. He was really close after me. Use somebody's story to share. Use your own experience to share. The child is getting relaxed. He's coming to understand that you guys are connecting. Let me say this to you. Children are vulnerable to vulnerable parents. If you're not a vulnerable parent, the child will not be vulnerable to you. So
At
become a
all.
vulnerable parent, and your child will learn to be vulnerable because they see, oh, mom is not hiding her mistakes from me. That is not hiding. Well, let me also tell them my mistakes. So that's one of the things. All right. And
Yeah.
if you don't
Yeah.
tell you
And she told her mom, and her mom, you needed to hear the torrent of abuse that the working with boys or whatever, that she was going to deal with her and all of that. And somehow I got connected with this girl, and she told me, well, you know what? Before we had our conversation, this girl, you are dishing out stern warning to the girl. What have you taught the girl? What have you taught her about sex education? What have you taught her about having crushes and all of that? So most times our expectations as parents is even we go overboard. We are trying to stop our children from doing things that we have not even taught them how to do. There was a time I was sharing on Instagram and I said, sometimes we are teaching our children, okay, you say your children, they don't have respect, they don't respect people, they don't know how to greet. Have you modeled it? Have you shown them? It's not about saying go and greet grandma, go and greet grandpa. Have you actually showed them? You say your children, they don't know how to wash plates, they don't know how to sweep the floor, they can't make the bed properly. Have you practicalized it? There's a difference between teaching and training. Have you done this thing hands on? Have you had these conversations? Coach Abibo was talking about, how you can have these conversations with your children. Now, sometimes we want to remain up there as parents. We want to be in that parental ego. We want to be the boss of the home. We want to be the lion of the tribe of the home. There is no way the children can meet us at that point. We need to come down to their level. You need to be
yeah,
a gaio. You need to be a
yeah,
gaio as a dad. Now, looking
yeah,
at Coach Abibu, you would see that from his demeanor, from his expressions, you see that, okay, this is somebody that when it's time to talk with his son, they can actually connect on the same level. But when you see some dads, they keep a straight face, they are too spiritual, or I don't understand. So if you really want to befriend your child, you need to calm down. You need to play together. You need to go and grab drinks together. You need to talk about things because that child that is hiding the truth from you has seen some other experiences. He has seen how you handled previous situations. When the child came to tell you, Mogbe, hey, this child, you will not kill me. What's the meaning of that? Is that what I spent all the money for your education and all of that? And you go about having crushes. It doesn't just happen in a day. If
yeah.
you look at your attitude, the way we handle things as parents, I'm also talking to myself. We need to be
I,
very careful. over and over again in this conference. What are you doing? Because you can be saying one thing and you are doing another thing. And because of the hustle and bustle in the society today, you might not even know that you are doing something opposite from what you are saying. So we need to be mindful. Mindfulness is key. We need to be very, very conscious that we are actually mirrors, and our children will definitely mirror whatever they see us
What
do.
do
And
you think?
when you look at
Yeah.
your child, if you are sincere, you will see your child doing some of the things that you did when you were a child. You will see your child doing things that you are doing even as an adult. It's because these children are taking these things in from you unknowingly. It's not as if they want to do it, but they just find themselves picking all of these traits for you. So it all boils down to us. Parenting is about you. Parenting is about me. Before we begin to point accusing fingers at our children, we should point those fingers back at ourselves, to be
Okay, so let
sure
me
that
say this.
we are doing the right thing.
Let me say this quickly. The problem is this: many of us have not unlearned the parenting system that parented us,
Yes.
and for that reason, we also have not come to realize a change in global system. So I
Yes.
used to say this to myself. I had to come back down to my children's level and my teens level because you
Hmm.
know I I as a pastor, I used to dress like a pastor. And then when I'm going to teach teenagers, I'm always on suit and the rest of them. One of the days, my teenager said to me, "If you want to get us, come to us." I said, "What do you mean?"
Hmm.
Your suits every Sunday. It does not make any sense. I was not.
Hmm.
I learned my
Wow.
lesson. I went to buy polo and jean. I don't used to wear jean before. I went to buy
Hmm.
polo, but I was looking all the need, but I said, look, I have to suit in so that I can suit
Hmm.
into them. And it
Yeah.
took time, but I had to learn it. I had to learn their language. I had to learn their emotion. I had to learn their conversation. I had to learn their expression. And it's an intentional work we needed to do. Now, let me say this. When you are not listening to the image of your child and the words of your child becomes hot. And let me say this. Hot creates hatred that leads to indulgence and addiction. Hot creates hatred that leads to indulgence and addiction. So you need to be a learning parent. In fact, I used to say this. Many parents want to change, but they're not changing. They are not learning to change themselves. And your child is watching you. You are not patient with your child, and you expect your child to be patient with you. You are comparing your child with others, and you expect your child not to compare you. The thing is this. When I interviewed a lot of teenagers who got into this thing, uh, into pornography, many of them told me it was because they have autocratic parents. Autocratic parents, I mean. My friend would just stop like, "Fire!" The
Hmm.
child comes away. And then he runs to the hand of somebody who is polite, who is kind, who is friend, who is relational. And then the person, seduce him, get them involved. And they begin to say, oh, I prefer this person to my mother, even if what the person is
Hmm.
doing, I never like it. But then I feel safe here. I feel secure there. You understand? That's some of the things they get them. So you have to understand that their generation and your generation is not, they are tech savvy. You are generation, you are not tech savvy. I bought pornography in video when I was 12 years. It took me 2 years and 6 months to be able to even slot it into the video. Because if light go, look for real, wahala don't enter. You feel like, but now, but now it's so intentional that they even adverts are showing all of those things. So you
Yes.
have to personally build your child, build that relationship, build that communication, the conversation. Let your child see, let your child see you as one that he can come with his message to. All right. Let your child be able to come with their mess to you. Let them not feel like shame. You understand? Come. And that way, I think we can be able. So I encourage you to get the book, the Sex Conversation Form Protection Guide. And I have one of the book here. I still have some copy of this book. I wish I was a virgin. Start the conversation with your children because the world is intentional. You have to be intentional about building them. Peradventure, your child is already exposed to this addiction. Please, I'll drop my contact here so that you can reach me. everything I want to say in this class, but how to go through the journey with them. Oh, my child is already exposed to pornography. Oh, my child is exposed to masturbation. Or my child is masturbating. Oh, my child is already addicted to something. I'm an addiction therapist. We can walk your child through the journey without shame, and then we have the change we seek for. Thank you very much. If you have questions,
Sorry, the video. I think we exceeded our time limit because it just went off. And once again, I'm not able to save this video. But you will find it on Instagram. Sorry, you will find it on Facebook and YouTube. It just cut abruptly, so I wasn't able to save it. But you can find the video on Facebook and on YouTube. I'm going to share at the end of the conference. I will share, or even now, I'll share my Facebook handle and YouTube as well, so that you can catch up on the two sessions that I have not been able to save. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming back. So please, I want you to, if you go to my last post, you will find that I tagged Coach Abibo. You can get his handle from there. In fact, let me pin his handle. Let me pin his handle. Please work with him. If you have, you're looking for how to educate your children on um, masturbation, how to porn protect your home, please, you need to reach out to him. He's a guru. He is how will I put it? He recovered from pornography himself, so he's in the best position to walk your child or whoever is involved in that habit. He's in the best position to walk that person through it. So please, that's his handle. And I encourage you to please get his books. Get his books. Um, the Porn Protection Guide, Sex Conversations, and I Wish I Was a Virgin. Please go get his books. Go follow him. Let me drop his personal handle as well at Abibo. I don't want you to miss any of them. Just go follow him. Okay, that's it as well. Please follow him and he will help you as much as he can. Thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you. Thank you. I will end this live session very soon. And I believe he was already done. He was talking about his book, so he's already wrapped up the session. If you got value from that session, please let me see in the comments. If you got value, I got value. I learned so many things. You know, in this parenting journey, you can't know it all. And the learning continues because the world is evolving. The world is evolving, and the enemy that we are playing with is not playing. We are sleeping, but the enemy is not sleeping. They are trying to sexualize children from very young ages. I mean, what do cartoons have to do with all this, their indoctrination? so we can see where the target is aimed at. The target is aimed at children, and we must, we must do all we can. And that's why I really salute every parent that has been logging into the sessions back to back. I mean, I see some of us here will be coming from 4 p.m. day one. I appreciate you, because that is intentionality at its peak. I mean, you're spending time, you're spending your data, because we can't see. Do you know how much the enemy is spending? Do you know how much these people are spending, to get at the minds of children? And just, I mean, a free conference like this is an opportunity for us to come and learn. I have learned so much. Like I said earlier, I'm going to go back to all the sessions. I will take notes, because I can't be slack as well. I have children too, and I have to be on top of my game. So I appreciate you all. I can't begin to call all your names. As at yesterday, 70 more people registered to be part of this conference. It's been so amazing. If you know that you have been blessed, please don't keep it to yourself. Comment on our posts and send me DMs. I want you to send the message to me. We are going to put the feedback together so that we can encourage other parents to join in as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all. I love you all. You are doing amazing. And my prayer for you is that because you took time out to be a part of this conference, your own will not get spoiled in Jesus' name. Your own children will not get spoiled in Jesus' name. They will not bring you shame. They will not bring you disgrace in Jesus' name. You will not run helter skelter because of negative emergencies. Your children will be positive role models. Your children will do great things. Your children, they are made for signs and wonders, and they will manifest the glory of God in Jesus' name. God bless you all. I love you. Thank you so much. And I'll see you tomorrow. We have 3 blockbuster sessions tomorrow. Please don't miss it. Invite other parents, and we are going to have fun together. Thank you so much. God bless you. The grace, grace, grace to implement everything that we have been taught. Receive it in Jesus' name. We have prayed for this conference, and while the conference is still on, we are still praying. So grace is available. Don't be vulnerable. This one of the sessions we had yesterday. Mrs. Anne Ekweme was telling us. She said, relate to God is the office, but Abba, when you see him, when you see God as Abba, Abba, he's your father. Be vulnerable to him. Tell him